What is up, guys? It's Swimmer here, back again with some more Go Battle League action. Going to be featuring a new team in the Holiday Cup that a friend recommended to me. It is Wigglytuff on the lead with Dewgong and Froslass in the back. Double Ice types in the back is pretty interesting. Normally, this would leave you very weak to counter users in the back, um, your Obstagoons, your Vigoroths. However, the Ghost typing on Froslass really helps with that. However, you are still very vulnerable to Lapras, Shadow Victory Bell, and Alolan Grappler or Alolan Golem. All three of those Pokemon pretty much beat all three of these. It's pretty hard to flip those matchups. Froslass has a chance against Alolan Grappler or Golem if it's got a bit of an energy advantage. I suppose same with Dewgong, but all of those are pretty iffy, so ultimately I found that this team didn't work out all that well, but it was fun to try out nonetheless, and figured I would show you guys those battles. So let's go ahead and get right into the video. So this was the last team that I used in the Holiday Cup. I've gone back to regular Great League. As you guys know, I was struggling in the Holiday Cup, so today on Monday I did Great League battles instead, and they went quite well. Went 11-4, so happy to get a good positive day now that Open Great League is back. On the lead here we get a Wiggly versus Wiggly mirror matchup, and this is another one that is kind of awkward, to be honest. Fortunately, they actually swap out into Vigoroth, so I can go straight into Froslass here. Froslass is a pretty good response to the Vigoroth. Going to go right away for the Avalanche. Really want to punish them if they don't shield, and they do not shield, so I can safely no shield as well and farm down this Vigoroth. The Bulldoze does a decent chip damage, but I'm really going to want to save those shields for the back end. And then it is an Obstagoon in the back, so we can go for an Avalanche here. This is either going to deal about half their health or get a shield. We do get the shield. That's better, to be honest. And then we actually force them to throw their energy because we would be getting to another Avalanche if they did not shield, so that's totally fine. We can come right back in with Wigglytuff, and they swap out, so we swap in our Dewgong to match. We are going to have to shield up this Play Rough or Ice Beam. It is just an Ice Beam. Honestly, it's very strange to go for the Ice Beam over the Play Rough when you have Wiggly into Dewgong, because you're just going to get to one charge move, so we're able to farm them down and have two Icy Winds back-to-back for this Obstagoon. First Icy Wind is going to get a shield. Second Icy Wind coming through here is going to deal a fair bit of damage. Yeah, it gets them fairly low, and we do have them double debuff now. Unfortunately, that does give them more farm, so I'm not sure that that's entirely in our benefit. We are going to be able to get to the Play Rough, though, to be able to take them out. Because they were debuffed, they were going to need at least two cross chops to take us out there, so they had to farm up quite a lot of energy, and were able to take that match. Alright, getting into the next matchup here. I've got 15 battles recorded. I don't think I'm going to show all of them. I'll probably show like 7 or 8 or something like that, so we'll find a good stopping point. We've got Drifloon on the lead. I can stay in this and tank an Icy Wind or two. Because I'm double resisting the hexes, there's really not a ton of incentive for me to swap out, so we're going to tank that Icy Wind. And then they actually swap out into Lapras, Shadow Lapras at that, so this is going to be a bit of an awkward matchup for us. We are going to let this, we're going to actually shield up this Surf, and we should be able to basically match them charge move for charge move with us getting Shadow Balls and them getting Surfs. We are going to throw the first Shadow Ball here. We're going to let this next Surf come through. It shouldn't KO, and the Ice Shards are resisted, so we should definitely be able to get to another Shadow Ball, no problem. We are going to go for a Shadow Ball here. Hopefully, we get this through. I'll get another shield. I really would have much preferred the damage. They're going to throw their energy to take us out, which is good, because they probably could have farmed us down, to be honest. But we're going to be able to come back in now with Wigglytuff and get rid of this Shadow Lapras. I really just need to get rid of it. and the play rough is able to take it out. Drifloon comes back in, and we're going to look to Charm down. We are going to shield just in case what they have in the back is weak to Charm. And it's a shift where we're going to actually swap into our Dewgong right away to avoid getting farmed down. And really what I wanted to do here is land some Icy Winds on the opponent regardless of what it was to give the Wigglytuff more play. As it happens, the Icy Wind will be more than enough to KO the Shiftry, and then we can Ice Shard down the Drifloon. That's a good game there. Able to go 2 wins to start off the set, so pretty promising so far. Alright, on this next battle we have Wigglytuff into Lapras. Shadow Lapras again. This is really a tough Pokemon for me to deal with, so what I'm going to do is deal some nice Charm damage here. Likely going to eat the Surf on the Wigglytuff and then swap into Froslass. Yeah, I'm going to swap into Froslass here, and then going to go straight for that Shadow Ball. And the reason I like to do a bit of Charm damage there is that now it's just one Shadow Ball to take them out. And we're building up a bunch of extra energy in case they swap out. They do swap out and come in with an Obstagoon. We can go ahead and drop the Avalanche on this Obstagoon, drop another Avalanche right away because we had so much energy from that Lapras matchup. Yep, going to be able to get to another Avalanche there. Not going to shield up this Night Slash. It shouldn't KO, and we should be able to get to another Avalanche just in time. Yeah, we are able to get to another Avalanche here. To be honest, I'm hoping that they shield this, but they decide to let it go. It's not great for us because their Lapras is likely going to come in and farm us down. Yeah, Lapras comes in, farms us down. We go ahead and swap into Wigglytuff. And we really need to get this Lapras lower because Dewgong has no ability to farm this down. So we're going to shield and then look to Charm down with the Wigglytuff. We have a Play Rough ready for the Altaria coming in. Should have gone for Ice Beam for sure, but they're going to shield, so it doesn't really matter. We're going to get Dragon Breath down, but Dewgong is going to be more than able to tank a Sky Attack, and we're going to get to an Icy Wind very quickly here. So they actually go for the Dragon Pulse. That's the right move because they're just going to get to one charge move, and Dragon Pulse does slightly more damage, about 10% more. But Dragon Pulse is not enough to KO, so the Icy Wind is going to go through and take out the Altaria. So this team really likes to see Altaria. All 3 of these Pokemon have a dominating matchup against it. So anytime that there's an Altaria in the lineup, you are looking like you're going to have a good time. Alright, next matchup we have another Lapras, so that's 3 Lapras games in a row. And again, Lapras is a bit of a problem. To be honest, I think that regular Lapras is a little bit more of a problem because you can see the Charm damage that I get off before they get to a Surf isn't really enough to put them in Shadow Ball range, I don't think. And they've actually gotten low in Marowak, however they were somewhat slow on the swap, so hopefully I can get to 2 Shadow Balls if they just go for the Bone Club. We do get the shield on the first Shadow Ball, and then they're throwing their energy here. This is likely going to be, oh, it is actually a Shadow Bone rather than a Bone Club. And this is another problem with this team, is that you don't really have a very good answer for a low Marowak. You're forced to come into Dewgong, which is a pretty awkward matchup, to be honest. So we're not going to shield up the first Shadow Bone, because I want my opponent to no-shield the Water Pulse. They probably don't want to go down 2 shields to none, and I really want to get that Water Pulse through. So not going to shield there. We are going to shield up the second one, though, because it would deal a fair bit of damage. However, it's just a Bone Club, actually, so definitely didn't need to shield that in hindsight. The Lapras comes back in, and they actually have a Skarmory in the back, so they're going to be able to wall this Wigglytuff fairly effectively. We do get to an Ice Beam, which deals some nice chip damage, but they're able to farm up a ton of energy, and we're just not going to be able to deal damage fast enough to this Skarmory to take it out. So they get to one Sky Attack. We're going to go for our own Icy Wind here, but they have too much energy, and Skarmory wins CMP against Dewgong, so the Sky Attack is going to take us out. So very well played by my opponent. Skarmory is another one that, with this team, none of these Pokemon really have a great matchup against Skarmory. Dewgong wins in most shield scenarios, and Froslass certainly has play. In the one shield, it is pretty close, but it depends on whether we get Air Slashes or Powder Snows through. Shadow Vic on the lead here. We swap into Froslass because we just need to get as much damage onto this Shadow Vic as we can. They actually stay in, which is okay for us, I guess, but they're able to Razor Leaf down. We're going to come in with Wigglytuff and look to charm them down. We're going to have to shield up this charge move, whatever it is. It's probably going to be an Acid Spray. It is an Acid Spray, and then the Razor Leaf damage gets us down well below half health, so this is really problematic, to be honest. And then, because of our defenses were so lowered, we can't get to the play rough against the Lapras, so we're in a really tough spot here. Lapras is definitely going to be able to beat this Dewgong. This is Skull Bash here. I didn't shield because if it was a Surf or Ice Beam Lapras, then my win condition there was basically not shielding and hoping that I could somehow win that matchup and beat whatever was in the back. However, it was a Skull Bash Lapras, and that's basically game over at that point. So, again, Shadow Vic, absolute nightmare for this team. And you combine that with the Lapras that they had, and I'm not sure that there's any way to beat that a team that has both a Shadow Vic and a Lapras with this team. Alright, going to get into the next set here. We're at 2640 ranking there, so again, stuck around that 2600 mark in the Holiday Cup, haven't really moved substantially over the course of the week. We have Wigglytuff into Dewgong here. This is a favorable matchup for Dewgong, but I want to stay in and absorb at least one Icy Wind on the Wigglytuff before swapping out, because that charm damage is really going to be quite nice. We're going to go into Froslass now and go as quickly as we can for the Shadow Ball. However, they do have a Shadow Vic, and they actually swap it into the Froslass, which is pretty incredible, to be honest. We're going to fire off the Avalanche, and we're not able to get to a second one. I was hoping I could get to two if they were just slightly slow on the switch. I'm going to be forced to shield up the, hopefully Leaf Blade, but it's actually an Acid Spray on the Dewgong. I came in with Dewgong there instead of Wigglytuff, hoping to basically get enough ahead on energy that I could flip this matchup. However, the defenses falling make that Icy Wind hurt quite a lot more than it would otherwise. And they have their own Wigglytuff in the back, so we're going to be able to get to a play rough here, but they're likely just going to shield this as Wigglytuff is going to deal charm damage quickly enough to our Dewgong to really create some problems for us. So I'm going to go for an Icy Wind right away on this Wigglytuff. Want to reduce the charm damage as quickly as possible. And we do get the attack fell, and we're going to go for another Icy Wind here. But unfortunately, the Dewgong in the back just has too much health, and we really have no way to deal very much damage to it. So this is likely going to be an Icy Wind. They just are going to want to decrease our attack. It is an Icy Wind. Doesn't do very much damage, but it's enough. And so, sure, I could have shielded that, but I needed to get to at least 3 charge moves, certainly at least 2 charge moves to take them out, and that just wasn't going to happen. So, good game, well played by my opponent, but again, the Shadow Vic is just, it's a nightmare for this team. I hate Shadow Vic. It is really a very annoying Pokemon to go up against. So, we'll get into the next battle here. And we have Abomasnow on the lead. So this is a fairly interesting matchup. Abomasnow does quite well against Dewgong, but does not do so great against Froslass. So we're just going to stay in with the Wigglytuff to begin with and deal some nice charm damage. They go for the Weather Ball first. We're going to swap out now into the Froslass. And then this could be an energy ball, so I'm going to go ahead and shield it up. It is an energy ball, and we're going to look to farm this down very aggressively. This is just going to be a weather ball, so we're not going to shield. No way that they got to another energy ball. And we are going to be able to farm down and leave this with a ton of energy. There's a Froslass coming in, so we're going to go straight for that Shadow Ball. Really want to get shields or health, and they do not shield. That's amazing for us. We're going to go for an Avalanche now against this Stunfisk. And Stunfisk is really going to have a hard time against our team here. This is likely going to be a Discharge. It is a Discharge, and we're going to go for another Avalanche. We know that we can connect with this Avalanche and strip them out that last shield. We definitely want to get those shields away, and then Dewgong shouldn't have a problem cleaning up this matchup. This is probably going to be a Mud Bomb. It is a Mud Bomb, but we're going to swap into our Dewgong right away. And we just need to get to an Icy Wind. The Discharge here is likely to do about half of our health, a little less actually, maybe only 40%, and my opponent recognizes that the game is over there, so they do decide to surrender. So Stunfisk is another Pokemon that I've seen a lot of in this cup, and this team does fairly well against Stunfisk. Wigglytuff does reasonably well with that charm damage. Froslass does quite well, as it does not need to shield the first charge move, and then Dewgong deals super effective damage, though it does take super effective damage back. But if you can shield the first discharge and get the Icy Wind off, then you're in a pretty good situation there. Alright, we have Wigglytuff into Stunfisk, so we're going to go likely straight away into Froslass, because we do want to save our Wigglytuff for potentially something back. They have a Marowak coming in, and this is going to be a bit of a problem for us, because this Marowak is going to leave with quite a lot of energy. They do shield up the Shadow Ball, and then we're at a Shadow Ball here, but not going to shield, hoping that they go for Bone Club. They do go for their own Shadow Ball, though, to be honest, which is good to know that they have Shadow Ball. This could be another Shadow Ball, so I'm going to go ahead and shield it up. It is a Shadow Ball. That's very important not to take that damage. And then we're going to build up a little bit of extra energy and go for the Water Pulse. We really want this Water Pulse to connect, and we are able to connect with the Water Pulse. The Ice Shard is going to take them out. We're not going to shield this. I don't think they've got a Shadow Ball yet, and it's just a Bone Club coming through. So that's very good to save the shield there. Stunfisk comes back in. We're going to likely go ahead and shield this. Yeah, we do go ahead and shield the Discharge. And then we're going to get to this Icy Wind and hopefully deal some nice chip damage. Either that or it's going to get them very low. We do get them pretty low, and we should be able to farm down here likely. The Discharge is not going to be enough to take us out, and we're actually going to swap out into Wigglytuff to draw out whatever they've got in the back. And I think that this was a mistake. I would have been much better off if I had stayed in with the Dewgong and committed to that farm down. I could have thrown the Icy Wind or the Water Pulse at this Froslass and threatened that shield, and also debuffed their attack. So we're going to have to farm down, but they're able to get to another charge move and take us out. So very close match. We really needed to farm down so that we could have back-to-back Icy Winds for that Stunfisk in the back, but Froslass is just too spammy, so not able to win that matchup. Alright, Wigglytuff into Lapras. Again, Shadow Lapras, not great for this team. We're going to go ahead and stay in to deal a little bit of charm damage. They're actually building up a lot of energy. Because of all the Ice Shard damage, this is going to get me very low. And to be honest, I probably should have stayed in with Wigglytuff to avoid having to shield up this Surf, or switch into Dewgong for that matter, just to absorb the Surf. I'm going to go for the Avalanche here, as they are low enough that Avalanche will be able to take them out. And we should have gotten the CMP tie there, so they come in now with their own Froslass, and we do have a slight energy advantage, so we're just going to go straight Shadow Ball here. We really want to get the damage off if we can. We do get a shield, so this is not looking amazing for us. We're not going to shield ourselves, hope that it's an Avalanche, but they do go straight for that Shadow Ball. And now we're in a bit of a tricky spot, to be honest. We really have not a great answer. They have a Shadow Vic in the back, so this is game over. The Shadow Vic can just shield and farm down the Dewgong. So no point in playing that out. That's going to be a good game, especially because they had Froslass with basically full health in the back. Alright, Wigglytuff into Froslass now. This is okay, but I can't really swap in any of my... I can't swap in the Dewgong or the Froslass because behind on energy, that's a very bad matchup for both of them. So I'm going to eat the Avalanche and then look to farm down. But they're actually able to farm us down with Power Snow, so they must have an attack-weighted Froslass that hits a Powder Snow breakpoint, because that is way, way more damage per Powder Snow than they should be getting off. You should be able to safely charm down in the one shield with Wigglytuff, but we are going to be able to line up our Froslass against this Vigoroth. And it's the Froslass coming in. We were able to sneak in a Powder Snow there, so we can just shield this, and all of that extra energy that they have is going to go to waste. That's a Stunfisk in the back, so we're going to go for back-to-back Avalanches here with the Froslass. This is really going to apply a lot of shield pressure, so we're able to get one shield. This should be getting the second shield, and then we can swap into our Dewgong and get to an Icy Wind. Likely, this is going to be the discharge coming through. Definitely want to shield that up. The first one is going to deal the most damage. This Icy Wind is going to deal some nice chip damage. Get them to about half HP, a little less to be honest, more like a third to be honest, and then they recognize that we're going to be able to farm them down, so they do go ahead and surrender. Alright, that looks like the second set, so I think I'll leave it there. So as I said, Shadow Vic is pretty much game over for this team. Shadow Lapras is pretty tough to play against, and so is Alolan Marowak, though there are outs for both of those Pokemon. But Shadow Vic is just a complete nightmare. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you guys next time.